welcome back to Chaotic and Unfiltered. My name is Mercedes, and I am one of the hosts. Emma is not here today because she still has COVID, and unfortunately, she can't be here. But today we have a special guest. Her name is Karina.
Hey!
So, Karina is one of my personal friends, but also I wanted to invite her to the podcast because she is really into fitness. She's had a pretty big transformation physically. She also has a decent following on Instagram. We just wanted to invite her on and kind of ask her some questions. Do you want to say your Instagram username?
Yeah, my username for Instagram is just karenaxmarie. And I know people have tried to find me on Instagram before, but they don't know how to spell my name. So I'm going to have to spell it out for you.
Spell it out.
Yes. So it's Karena, the letter X, and then Marie. And that's on Instagram and TikTok too. I try to keep the same username for everything.
So right now, you have like 17,000 followers?
Yeah.
That's a decent number. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you. I've been kind of stuck at 17 for like 5 months now. I kind of gained a lot over the summer, and then winter, it kind of just stopped.
I mean, I don't know. I still see you doing good on there, so hopefully, some people will follow you
for that. That, like, when summer hits, and obviously, like, I have my 6-week challenge going on right now. When I start posting, like, more transformation stuff, hopefully it gets more traction. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too, because I'm actually doing that 6-week challenge with you, so we can kind of like talk about that for a moment as well. So I have some questions, and let's talk about the beginning when you started working out. How did you structure your workouts then versus now?
Oh my gosh. Well, long story short, I started lifting at a tiny little apartment gym in North Carolina, and there was nothing in there. Like, we had a cable machine, a leg extension machine, and free weights and a bench, and that was it. Like, quite literally it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it was really rough.
Yeah.
And back then, I also did not really look up anything or how to do things. I kind of just threw together what I had, like, briefly looked up. And I have a transformation video of my RDL form on my Instagram too. And you can tell I did not know what I was doing. So
such a move.
It's rough. And there's a reason why that video has like 3 million views, because it was rough.
Yeah, I mean, relatable. Like, I feel like a lot of us don't know what the fuck we're doing when we first start going.
No, 1,000%. And the biggest thing for me was actually getting into a real gym. I feel like that is what definitely got me to start putting more energy and effort into my workouts, because back when I first started, as long as I showed up and I was in there, that's all that mattered. As long as I did something, that's all that mattered. But at the same time, I should have done more research and actually focused on form and not just been like, okay, I'm going to throw some weights around and just expect it to work, yada, yada, you know, but I was still a beginner, and we all got to start somewhere, right? So might as well be bad first than expect yourself to be perfect and fail, you know?
Right. I mean, that's the point. Like, you're supposed to be bad at first because you don't know what you're doing. But
yeah, and I was real bad. Real bad.
So, like, now, I mean, I know I've talked to you before, like, I've messaged you about your workout routine. How did you kind of put that together before the 6-week challenge? Like, how did you put your own workout routine together and come to that place?
So I actually worked with a coach for about, like, a professional bodybuilding coach for about 6, 7, 8 months-ish, something like that. And he definitely helped me gain a lot of knowledge and how to build my own workouts and what works for me and what didn't. And one of the things that I did learn from him is that my body does not do well with, like, short-term commitments. So, like, he put me through a lot of mini cuts and mini bulks, and that can only work for so long before your body's like, all right, what's going on? So for me, being in a long-term cut and a long-term bulk or even in a long-term maintenance phase is more beneficial for just the way my body works. Because in the long term, I've just seen more results when putting in more time and sticking to a specific goal for longer.
Yeah. So can you kind of talk about that, like bulking and cutting and because there's always people listening who have no idea what that means.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Like, so like right now, like with our 6-week challenge, I'm just staying at a maintenance calories and maintenance macros. So macros are macronutrients, and it's basically your carbs, proteins, your fats, and your calorie intake. And so like, I don't care to talk about my body weight. I probably weigh like 135 to 140. I've always fluctuated between there. I've gotten a little higher during my bulk, but right now I'm probably in between that. And I probably eat around 135 to 140 grams of protein a day. And my maintenance is about 2,300 calories, somewhere around there, I think. And it just, it's a better start for me because especially I was sick before, like from like mid-January to mid-February, I was sick and I was skipping the gym and I wasn't eating. So starting at a maintenance and honestly forcing myself to eat a little bit more because I wasn't eating during that time period has genuinely helped me get my strength back to where I was before.
Yeah.
Now when summer rolls around, I'm probably going to drop to about 1,900 calories. So I'm not trying to get super shredded and super lean because that's just not realistic for me in the work I do. But that will help me, lose a little bit of body fat, get my abs out a little bit because, you're doing the 6-week challenge too. And these core workouts
Yeah.
are not a joke.
No, they're not.
They are
brutal.
literally so hard.
Yeah.
And then obviously, when it starts getting a little bit colder outside and I want to put on a little bit more muscle, I'm going to start bulking. That means I'll go from cutting to going back to my, what did I just say? Going back to my,
Or you'll go
my
from
maintenance.
maintenance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting back to my maintenance calories, which is, like I said, 22, 23. And I'll probably try to bulk till about 25, 26. Hopefully. We'll see how that goes. That's like a while away.
Right. What are some of your favorite exercises for building strength? I mean, we can also discuss some exercises from the 6-week challenge so far that you like, but even before that, like some of your personal favorites.
So honestly, and I can probably say the same thing that every other like influencer does, is that stick to the basics. You don't need to do like all these fancy little workouts. Like I know I've posted about this workout called frog pumps, which is basically a reverse hyperextension on the Smith machine. It looks absolutely insane, but I do it because I'm fun and I like trying new things. And I did really like the results I got for them. But if you're just starting out, you don't know what you're doing, just stick to the basics. Those are the best ways to build strength and be able to get to a place where you can try, all the cute little fun new moves that you see all the influencers doing and things like that. Because another thing too is that some people online, you can't trust everybody for real.
Yeah.
So some of the moves you might be seeing quite literally might in the end not do anything at all. So stick to the basics and get really good at them first and then kind of move on into other things. Now, I'm not saying that, some workouts like don't work. They're just less optimal, less efficient and less effective. Because there are some influencers, especially in the fitness community out there, who go and get work done, who go and, are taking gear and lying about their progress. You can't trust everybody on the internet. And that's also why I try to be as real as possible online, because I want people to see the real side of, bodybuilding and being in the fitness industry and being an influencer while still working a full-time job and still trying to connect with people. It's really important to me to be 100% with my audience. And I pretty much just refer to everybody as my friends.
Yeah. Well, I love that. I love that you're real. I had no idea that influencers did that. And I don't know why, because I know that for the most part, like most influencers are fake, but I did not know that they would lie like that.
There was like a whole scandal a month or two ago about a running influencer who lied about her runs.
What?
Yeah, lied about running like for her like 2 hours or whatever. And she would literally just go outside and act like she was running and then go right back inside.
Oh my gosh. But like, why? What's the point of that? That's
Quite
what I don't
literally.
get.
Quite literally. Like, but then again, like, that's the same thing for anybody in real life. Like, why are you lying? What's the point?
Yeah, literally. No, I know. That's crazy. How did they
It
catch
really
her
is.
lying about it?
I really don't even know. I didn't look that far into it. I was just
Yeah.
like, I'm somehow on like a little bit of running TikTok, and I just
Mhm.
scrolled up on this video and they were like, influencers are lying about their running times. Like this one, like they showed her whatever being like, okay, about to start my hour run. And
Mhm.
then she would basically drive to the other side of her like neighborhood or whatever, and then park her car, get out and act like she was running, and she would spray water on herself, shit
What
like that.
the
It was
hell?
crazy. And I was like, that can't be true, but it very much was. And I was like, no way.
That's terrible. People are so awful.
But for every one bad influencer or bad person who lies about the things that they do, there's 100 good ones. So you just got to make sure you trust your
Yeah.
gut when you're following advice from certain people, you know?
Yeah, definitely. How do you track your progress? So do you track it by like weight, measurements, photos, strength gains?
So I personally, I don't really care about the weight on the scale because my thing is, so like one of the biggest things that I remind myself of is there is this influencer who I follow. Her name is Joanna, and she weighs, like she talks about it sometimes. She's like, oh, I weigh like 134.3 pounds today. And we are literally the same height and the same size, but she has so much more muscle development than me. Like, I'm just going to be so real with y'all. I am no better than a man. Her body, her physique is insane. And we literally weigh around the same weight, but genetics play a part in it. You know, she's been working out longer. She's a professional, like probably bodybuilder, things like that. So that's one thing that makes me realize, okay, the weight on the scale does not matter. What
Yeah.
matters to me and how I track my progress is the weight I move in the gym, which obviously doesn't reflect during my cycle because we all, as women, we all know.
Yeah.
We all know. I'm not even going to get into that because we all know.
Right.
But I track progress by the weight in the gym and by photos, which is why I like to post as many photos as possible, no matter whether or not I think I look good or bad. And, you know, for our 6 weeks challenge, we did have to upload pictures and whatnot. So
Yeah.
that's how I'm going to be mostly keeping track of that.
Right. And then also it's funny because you did mention the cycle syncing, and I did kind of want to touch on that because for the most part we do have all women listening to this podcast. And as you know, someone who does mostly like weight training and stuff, I think it's important to discuss cycle syncing. So what's some of your tips or advice with that?
So, and I actually learned this from my coach. And that's why, like, even though I didn't get as far as I wanted to when working with him, I'm still extremely grateful because he did teach me a lot. So I realized that when I was working out consistently and pushing myself hard during the weeks that I was menstruating, that the next week I would literally not be able to get out of bed and work out. I wouldn't, like, I was exhausted because my body
Yeah.
physically could not recover. Now,
Yeah.
there are some women who can work out hard on their periods just as they usually do and be completely fine, but I am not one of those people. So I take a deload week, which is basically just lowering the weight about like 40% and going more high rep ranges than low rep ranges with high intensity. So high rep ranges with low intensity. And it makes me feel really bad sometimes doing it like that because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose progress. I'm not getting strength. But then the next week I come in and I am 1,000 times stronger than I was the week before because I allowed my body to take that rest that it needed. So that's kind of
Right.
just what I do during my cycle because it's just what I know works for me. And not every woman is the same, but that's just how it works for me and what's the most beneficial for me and my body and my goals.
Good to know. I think that's really important because I didn't know that was a thing until you told me about it. And then I was like, oh, that makes sense. Next, I wanted to talk to you about something that's like a completely different topic, but I know also in the 6-week challenge, we have some workouts where it's like she'll just say that you should go until failure basically on the workout, like whatever it may be. And I wanted to kind of ask you about that personally because I know we've talked about it before and logically, it means you go until failure. You can't do anymore. But how do you know? Because first of all, how should you set the weight? Do you set it like heavier or lower so that you can go longer or like what do you do?
So with training until failure, me personally, I try to aim like if she has a rep range, I try to fail within that rep range. So Bulgarian split squats, I do only one dumbbell in one hand because I use my other hand to grab a bar or something for stability. So that way I can feel and get a little bit more mind to muscle connection.
Mm-hmm.
And with me being out of the gym for about a month and a half before starting this challenge, I knew I was not going to be able to push the same weight as before.
Yeah.
So just to give you an example, I'm pretty sure the rep range she said to fail between was 8 to 12. I grabbed 25 and I think I failed at probably 9.
Yeah.
And how you know is you literally will have to drop the weight. Like you will not be able to get back up is pretty much failing. And it can be a little embarrassing to fail like that, but that's how that's where muscle growth and change actually happens. You're not going to get a lot of progress within those first 2 to 3 reps. It's doing something until failure, until your body can't. So that way your body does get stronger. So this week, like I said, I did Bulgarian split squats with a 25 in one hand. I'm probably with the way I've been eating and being consistent in the gym and everything, I should be able to fail with a 30 next week. And that's progressive overload too.
Okay.
I hope that makes sense. Okay.
No, it does. So like also is progressive overload, because we've talked about that as well, like you've mentioned it, and I just kind of want to talk more about what's the difference between that and training till failure.
So they kind of fall hand in hand, at least for me personally. Everybody trains differently, but I try my best to train until failure with almost everything. And so like I said, like with next week, I'm going to try to fail for probably 8 reps at 30 pounds for my split squats. And that's just what progressive overload is just upping the weight a little bit by increments and getting better at it. That's pretty much all it is. It's not as complicated, I think, as people make it seem. Even if, let's say you're benching, right? And you put a 2.5 on there, that is progressive overload. If you can move it for more than you did last week with more weight, that's progressive overload.
Okay, for sure. So what's the best way to get past a weight loss or strict plateau?
Honestly, it's just a push through it and to remind yourself that you're doing this for a reason. And really don't let the fear, the doubt, and the plateau and the fact that maybe you're not gaining strength and the fact that maybe you're stuck, don't let that deter you and make you think you should quit, make you think you should stop, because you're not. Maybe you just need to eat a little bit more carbs before your workout. Maybe you just need to sleep a little bit more. Maybe you've just been really stressed. Maybe you need to take a stretch break at the end. You know, there's a bunch of factors that can go into a plateau, but the biggest thing is to really just push through it, because I remember when I would go through plateau weeks and it would just make me want to give up. It's like, I'm not seeing progress. I'm not upping any weight. I feel like I'm losing everything that I'm working so hard for. And then the next week I would come back and be in a way different mindset, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like going through plateaus is kind of like going through feelings too. It's like a plateau is just visiting. It's not forever, you know? It's going to go away. You're going to get stronger and you're going to start seeing progress again. You just have to get through that little bump in the road.
Yeah. That's true. It can be very discouraging.
Trust me, I get it.
Yeah. Okay, so my next question, what's a common fitness myth you used to believe that you now know is not true? Or maybe you can list a few, not just one, but...
So my thing is that I used to be like super against waist trainers and Bajas and things like that because people promote them as a way to lose fat. Yeah. And that is not true. It is not a way to lose fat. You do need to be in a calorie deficit and eating correctly and doing cardio. And so now I do wear a waist trainer when I'm doing my cardio, but I do always remind my audience that I naturally have a very hourglass shape. So naturally wearing a waist trainer is going to accentuate my hourglass. I already have it naturally. So if you're somebody who isn't built like me and you try to achieve that same goal with a waist trainer, it more than likely is not going to work. And I think that's something that everybody in the fitness industry needs to understand, is that you cannot work out to look like other people. You can only work out to look like the best version of yourself.
Period. Oh my God.
Beggar. What can I say? I know what I'm talking about.
No, you do. You really do. Well, with this, you definitely do know what you're talking about.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's kind of talk about how important rest and recovery is in your routine. Or just like anyone's routine in general.
Oh my gosh. So I work in a factory and I used to work 12-hour shifts, and I would go to the gym after I would get off of work.
Jeez.
And so I would work 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. And then I would be at the gym and probably leave about 9, 10 p.m., get home, go to sleep around 11. And I would get about 5.5, 6 hours of sleep. And comparing back then to now, when now I get about 8.5 hours of sleep, it's crazy the amount of progress I've seen in the difference, my mood, my strength, and my ability to eat. Like back then I could not eat as much as I wanted to. And now it's just like, I guess it's just cause like I'm sleeping for 8.5 hours almost every night. My body's like, hey, I'm starving. And I usually work out in the mornings. So sleep is definitely one of the most important things. Now, is it the end of the world if you are the first version of me, oh my goodness, and could only get 5.5 hours of sleep? It's okay. Because at some point, you're going to be able to get to a point like me too and get that 8.5 hours of sleep. But what matters the most is that you're trying.
Right.
And another thing that I was lacking on before was my stretching and my mobility, which is what I'm really happy about with this 6-week challenge, is that she has functional workouts too, because that's also another thing I was slacking on. But do not lack on your stretching and mobility work, because it is going to save you in the long run. You can only push yourself so far before you need to start focusing on your weak points. So like 3 years ago, whenever I first started lifting in Findlay at Anytime Fitness, I pulled my lower back deadlifting and I was out of the gym for 3 months.
Oh my God.
It was really bad. Like I had to roll out of bed. I couldn't sit up straight and get out of bed. I had to roll out of bed because my back hurt so bad. Basically, it still affects me today. It's going to probably for the rest of my life. But I stretch, do these dead hangs to decompress my spine. I roll out my lower back. And one of the biggest things that I've noticed too is when I don't work out, when I get sick, my back gets worse. But when I'm strength training and when I'm eating and when I'm getting stronger, I have less back pain.
Interesting.
And the same thing for my knee. My right knee, I was in a car accident and fucked up my knee. I don't know if I keep cussing. I have the mouth like a sailor.
No, you're fine. We're allowed here.
Okay. Thank God, because I have the mouth like a sailor. But I fucked up my knee in a car accident, my right knee. And same thing with my back. When I'm not lifting, when I'm not eating right, my knee will start hurting more. But when I'm training more, when I'm getting stronger and when I'm consistent, it's not as bad. Because I feel like my muscle is just, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I just know when I'm not working out, I've noticed negative side effects, not just with my body, but with my mood and my mental state. So I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
No, I mean, that's interesting though, But also, like rest and recovery is super important, and form as well to prevent the accident that you had with your back and stuff.
Yeah. Because it was so funny, because one of my friends was like, oh, you can definitely deadlift a whole plate. And I was like, no, I don't think so.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, I could not.
Yeah. So that's how it happened, was like.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It was terrible.
Yeah, that sucks. Okay, so how do you keep workouts fun and exciting instead of feeling like a chore? My voice cracked.
It's okay. Um, honestly, filming does help with that because it's just fun, you know? It makes
Yeah.
working out a little bit more fun because you kind of have to push yourself to be a little bit more extroverted. But I even have days where, like, yesterday I went and did my cardio, but my head was hurting so bad. And it was just like, this is just the worst. And you know what? How you push through things being boring, and it's just, you gotta push through it. That's all I can say is you just gotta get through it, because I guarantee you next week on Saturday when I do my cardio and then probably do my abs like I should have done on Saturday, I guarantee you I will have so much fun and be in a way better mood because my head probably won't hurt.
Right.
And I mean, this is also terrible advice, but I'm terrible with money. I have a shopping addiction. I have
Same.
a spending problem. So one thing that keeps me motivated is clothes. All right.
Yes.
And I got a whole new package of Define coming in, and I'm like, I have to look good, so I cannot slack this week. So next
Yeah.
week when I'm wearing all my new outfits, I'm going to be bam, 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 getting it,
Right.
you know?
Exactly. Gym clothes really do help.
They really do. And it's not even like, you don't have to spend, you know, as much money as I do on gym clothes. But even if you go to TJ Maxx and buy a cute new little bra or buy a new cute little water bottle, give yourself a sweet little treat or something. That's
Yeah.
how you get to the long-term goals. And that's how you get through the little ruts where things feel very repetitive. It's making it so where you feel like you are accomplishing something, because you are. But like when we're in school and things like that, you get participation trophies, you get, you know,
Yeah.
stickers, you get things like that. We don't get that in adult life, and we need
Right.
to.
Do you believe in fasting before working out, or do you prefer to eat before working out?
Fasting works for some people and
Mhm.
for certain people's goals. Everybody's different. But for me personally, if I don't eat at least something before I lift, I'm probably going to die. But if I
Yeah.
eat too much, I'm probably going to shit myself. Like literally. So I usually do like a Rice Krispie treat, or I do like these Nutri-Grain apple cinnamon bars if I'm wanting something a little bit more filling. Because then it also, you know, carbs before your workout also help you push heavier too. So it's definitely, for me, it's definitely important to eat before I lift, because I will probably die.
Okay, what's your advice for someone who's afraid to lift weights because they don't want to look bulky or like a man?
Um, well, that plays into the whole fitness myth thing too that you mentioned before.
Yeah.
Because that's not true. I look at pictures of myself from before I started lifting to now, and I feel like I look so much more feminine than I did back then. And it's not just
Yeah.
the fact that I'm not the same person I was, but it's just my body in general. I have enhanced my hourglass. I have, you know, made my back more tapered. And to me, it's just so much more feminine. Like muscles on women are just absolutely chef's kiss.
Yeah.
And the whole bulky thing, the only time when you genuinely look bulky is when you have too much excess fat, which means, guess what? You're not eating right. You're not doing enough cardio, and you're probably not training as hard as you should. That's all that
Right.
really means, because you can strength train, you can do Pilates. You're not going to get the same effect from either one of them, but it's still going to enhance your features in a feminine way. There's no way for you to look manly as a woman
Mhm.
with
I
strength
agree.
training. Now, like when, you know, you see like female bodybuilders like taking, you know, gear and stuff like that. Obviously, gear is testosterone. It's going
Right.
to, you know, give you more manly features. But
Yeah.
that's just, you know, society's perception and whatever. Those women who are on gear still look to me 100% beautiful. I think there are so many stunning women who work so hard on their bodies, who take gear and are honest about it too. And that's the thing though, is being completely transparent. Be like, yeah, I take gear. And I do think women, no matter what, look beautiful and feminine, no matter how you train in the gym. But
Right.
looking at a broader aspect from it, gear can make you look a little manly, because it will make your voice drop. It will, you know, do all those types of things, which is also why I've made the decision that I'm never going to go on gear, because I love how
Yeah.
feminine I look. And I look this feminine because I work out.
Right. Yeah. Seriously, I
but
agree.
but femininity isn't, you know, just in the way your body looks. You know what I mean? It's in being a woman. you know? So even if you're a woman and you don't work out and you don't ever want to work out, that's okay. Guess what? You're still feminine. You're still a woman. There's nothing in the world that can take that away from you.
Yeah.
But working out for me, and I know for a lot of other women too, has helped us feel more feminine.
Yeah, I agree. How do you overcome gym intimidation and feel confident with recording yourself for social media? Or, for example, something I experienced a lot is going to the weights section of the gym and it's all males. And how do you feel confident in those situations or like overcome the gym intimidation?
So this is something I tell everybody. I just met a girl at Planet Fitness last week who literally came up to me and saw me filming. And she was like, oh my gosh, I see you filming. I want to start doing that too, but I'm so scared. And I tell her, just like I tell everybody else, nobody cares. In reality, nobody's paying attention to what you're doing. Everybody is kind of in their own world. I think
Yeah,
about it when I go to the gym. Am I paying attention to what other people are doing? Am I judging somebody
no.
on what they're wearing or their form? No, I'm not. I'm
Right.
just focused on getting what I need to get done. And I will admit, like, when I go to Planet Fitness every once in a while, I do still get gym anxiety. I do still get intimidated, and I do want to throw up 90% of the time. But the thing is that I do it anyways because
Yes.
I will not let social anxiety run me. All right. And it took me a while to get to this point to where I just don't care if I'm anxious or not. Because like when I worked out at Anytime Fitness, I was really self-conscious about how I looked recording because at nights when I would go, it would be so busy. But the most important thing that you need to just worry about is making sure that you're doing what you want to do. You pay for the same gym membership just like everybody else does, and you deserve to take up space just like everybody else does. Just because nobody else is filming doesn't mean that you can't, you know? And one of the most important things too, when it does come to filming, is making sure that if people are like in it, if there's one person in the background of my video, I will go up to them and be like, hey, just so you know, like, I want to know, is it okay if I film this way? If not, that's perfectly fine. I'll film my next set, whatever. And usually people are like, no, you're fine. If you just want to cover my face, that'll be cool. I'll be like, cool, perfect. Thank you. Or people will genuinely, I'll be like, hey, like, I see you're resting. I'm going to start my set. Do you care if I film? They'll be like, yeah, go ahead. And they'll move out of my way before they start their next set. If there's a shit ton of people in the background, I'm not going to go up to every single person.
Right.
But it's about, you know, respect. And it's like going outside and filming outside at a park, you know? Are you going to crop out every single person? No, you're not going to be able to. That's impossible. But how are you going to film anything and do anything without getting people in it, you know?
Right.
And that's also another reason why I love working out at my gym, the lifting lab, because it is a female focused gym. So it is a smaller community, and anybody who is around me doesn't care. They don't care if they're in it. They don't care if they're around it. They don't care what I do. And it's just so crazy because I was just thinking about this before we started the podcast, is that like, wow, I really thought like when I first started filming at my gym, my home gym, I really thought these people hated me. Like, oh my God, look at this stupid
Really?
bitch filming. She's not that strong. She does not look that good. And that's what I would tell myself every time these people would be at the gym at the same time as me. But one day it just turned around and this lady came up to me and she goes, oh my gosh, like you are so strong and you are so beautiful. I don't know how you do that. You are amazing. And then I have another lady who came up to me and she goes, no, I'm just trying to see what you're doing. So if you see me watching you, I just want to figure out what you're doing because I'm so new and I have no idea. You truly do not know who you're going to inspire by being yourself. And that's honestly what pushes me to be even more myself every single time I get in any gym or step into any room. It's just thinking about people literally coming up to me and telling me that. And then anxiety all goes out the window.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Makes me want to cry sometimes.
Yeah, that's really sweet. So now we're going to kind of talk about nutrition and diet. How do you handle cravings while staying on track?
Oof. All right. So I am not the healthiest person, I'll admit. What did I eat last night? I ate something bad. But anyways, yesterday, like I said, I had a migraine. And when I get migraines, it makes me nauseous to the point where I can't eat, things like that. I read online that you can like help a headache or a migraine with a Coke and really salty fries. And was I going to sit here and be like, oh my God, no, that's not a part of my diet. That's going to put me off a track, yada, yada. No, I said, fuck it. If it's going to work, it's going to work. And I think one of the biggest things when it comes to nutrition is that you can only do the best you can, you know? And it's all about progress over perfection. So like during like the month and a half where I wasn't at the gym, I was eating fast food every day, really not eating at work, you know. I would come home, eat some like snacks that I probably shouldn't have. But now I am, you know, making a meal prep. Like this week, I'm making burger bowls
Oh, cute.
for for my lunches at work. It's quick, it's easy, and it's yummy. What I do to actually satisfy my sweet tooth, because I have an insane sweet tooth, right? Like I go to work and the vending machines are just full of junk, you know, and it's like, man, I really want that Reese cup, but I know you've probably seen me posting about them. Excuse me. The Built Puff Bars. Oh my gosh. I have never loved something more in my life. Like, I would take a coconut Built Puff Bar over a Reese cup any day.
Really?
And yeah, it tastes just like an Almond Joy, and it's a marshmallow, and it's so good. I could probably eat the entire box.
Dude, I gotta try those for real.
Dude, they are so worth it. Like, they're a little bit pricey, but they are 100% worth it. Now, do they have, like, a few bad ingredients in them? Yeah, they do. But you know what? What nowadays doesn't?
Right.
And in this economy, in this world right now, I don't have the money to sit here and go travel an hour and a half to go to a Whole Foods or find, you know, whatever. And I'm not going to lie to you, when I was grocery shopping yesterday, I spent $116, and I was like, fuck, I probably still don't have enough protein to hit my goals or to be a little bit over because of how expensive groceries are. But you know what you gotta do? You gotta do it anyways. Like, you just gotta do your best. And if the best is all you can do, then that is 100% okay. This week, I'm probably only gonna hit 135 grams of protein and probably have a little less calories. But you know what? It's okay. That's the best I can do this week. And with nutrition and things like that, as long as you're trying and you're doing your best and you're at the very least hitting a good amount of protein, I'd say fuck it. You're doing good enough. Because there's going to be a day where you can do more. And right now, just appreciate the fact that you can even do anything at all, you know?
I love your mindset because you are so positive too. And I used to be like that. I need to start being positive again.
Hey, it can be really hard. And, you know, not getting into like my personal life, you know, personally about things that have been going on, but it's really hard to stay positive. But it's honestly the only way that I keep my sanity and not go insane.
Right. And there's comfort in like hearing how positive you are, because I just, I need to work on that for real.
Trust me, I have days where I am just an utter bitch, all right? And then I turn around and I'm like, man, I shouldn't have acted like that. I shouldn't have said that. Yeah. But the fact that we can reflect on that is still improvement.
Yeah, that's true. What are some of your favorite high protein snacks?
The Built Puff Bars. I love them. The coconut ones are my favorite. And honestly, I could eat a million of them. The brownie batter, it's good, but it's not my favorite. I really like the chocolate chip one too. That one's pretty good. I like the texture of it. Even though the Alani protein shakes are also a little expensive, they are my favorite because they don't get clumpy. All right?
Well, that's nice.
It literally makes me want to drink them more because they're not as clumpy. I also eat a lot of cheese. Not gonna lie to you. I fucking love cheese. Am I lactose intolerant? Yes.
I am mood.
Anything for the gains, though. And I buy these little Ritz balanced snacks, and it has Colby Jack and Pepper Jack cubes in it with little Ritz crackers. I devour that in like -2 minutes. It's already inhaled as soon as I open it. And it's like, 9-10 grams of protein, which for some people isn't a lot. But for me, I'm like, hey, anywhere I can get my protein in, I'm going to get it. Besides that, I really don't think I go for any other protein bars or anything like that. I've had the Bear Bells. I literally get sick of it after the first bite. Compared to the Built Puff Bars, I can just devour the whole thing.
Right. What was that one thing you posted? You found it at that one, like, What's it called? Oh my god, I'm blanking so hard. It's like that dollar store, but it's trendy.
Are you talking about the Prime Bites?
Maybe. Well, where'd you get them?
I got the Prime Bites at Five Below.
Yeah, Five Below. Yeah, it's those.
Yeah. Now, okay, so if I'm not allowed to say this, you can edit it out, but I
Yeah.
do quote unquote garden, as the kids nowadays would like to say.
Yeah.
And I did garden before I tried them,
Uh-huh.
and I thought they were really good. And then I tried them when I wasn't gardening, and I was like, man, this kind of tastes like feet. like like the vanilla yellow lemon one or whatever smelled like a foot. And then when I tried it, it didn't really taste like anything. And then the chocolate one tasted good. And then when I tried it again, I was like, no, this is disgusting.
So funny. Dude, being like stoned, shall we say, is it will make anything taste good, you know?
Literally. Like, I devoured, like, those chocolate Prime Bites. I bought 2 of them. I devoured both of them.
That's so
But
funny.
it's just like, if I could do that every single time I ate one, I would. I would. If they were worth the money, I would. They came out with the red velvet flavor a while ago, which I really wanted to try, but I think they sold out of them. But I'm like, it's not even worth spending $30 on an entire box to get it shipped. It's not worth it. I might as well just go buy my Built bars that I actually like and that I don't need to be stoned for, you know?
For real.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite healthy recipe you love to make?
I'm pretty much like when I don't know what I want to make for the week, I pretty much just go like on weeks where I'm not poor, I grab my bison meat, I grab some protein pasta, some pasta sauce, some cheese, and that's pretty much my meal prep for the week. And it's extremely easy, and it's not that expensive if I use beef, but I love my bison meat so much, and I miss it so much. But they've also been out of it here recently, so that's another reason why I haven't been eating it. But that's probably my favorite recipe for me. I also did try to make those 2-ingredient protein bagels, which were really good. And were they cleaner than normal bagels? Like I just saw a video comparing the macros to the 2-ingredient bagels to the Thomas bagels or whatever they are. And if you make them the same size and the same quantity or whatever, they're pretty much the same macros, just better ingredients for the 2-ingredient bagels. And they were kind of a little complicated to make. Like the dough got really sticky and it made a whole mess, whatever. So honestly, I'm just going to start buying normal bagels again. Did I really enjoy making them and trying them? Yes, but I'm lazy.
All right. I feel that. Now we're going to kind of talk about your social media and fitness influencing and stuff like that. So, how did you gain confidence in posting fitness content online to begin with?
Oh gosh. So this is going to be really cringy, but I've been on social media. I've been on social media and wanting to be an influencer and all that stuff since like 2015 when TikTok was Musically.
No way.
Yeah, like I was like, I want to do this. Back then, I was a little emo kid, you know, growing up my entire life being bullied and being told I was ugly and all these things, you know. I started on posting because I believe everybody starts posting and being online because they want a sense of community. They want friends and things like that. And that's why I did start posting. And over the years, I went from posting like stupid little lip syncs to posting makeup tutorials. In high school, I used to be really into makeup. And then eventually I just kind of dropped off of makeup and just started posting, you know, TikToks of me lip syncing, you know, just looking pretty, you know, just being myself, whatever. And then I decided to start lifting, and I was like, you know, I record everything else I've ever done in my life. I might as well just start posting fitness content. And that's kind of how I got here. I know over last summer, I was posting a lot of memes and a lot of stuff, like just being funny, because I'm genuinely just a weird person and I love memes, and I need to start posting more memes again. But it's just being yourself is the most important thing. Like I see so many people getting online and just being like, it just all just feels so ingenuine sometimes. And I feel like people can really tell. And that's why I want to be different. I want to be 100% myself, be honest, and, just be me. And I don't care if people like it or not.
Well, that's what makes you so much better than, not better than, but like, because you're genuine, people can tell,
Yeah.
and I think that, you are, like, I do know you in real life, and you are a really nice person, and you are genuinely really fun to be around, and you are funny, and you're positive, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Well, now I'm going to go cry.
like, I'm just saying, like, you as yourself are already enough. Everyone is, but you don't need to pretend to be anything, because
Exactly.
I feel like you're just a likable person as it is, so.
And I feel like so many people think like with posting online, you have to pretend to be something you're not. And truthfully,
Yeah,
you have to be yourself. Nobody wants to see the same person 800 times. You know what I mean?
literally. And that's kind of what, like, me and Emma wanted to do with this podcast too, was like be ourselves. Even our, like, not so good parts of ourselves come out here, because who the fuck cares? Like, we're all human,
Literally.
and we're not perfect. And so it's like having a podcast as well, like how you want your social media, or how your social media is, where people see every single part of us. And cancel culture or whatever, I could definitely get canceled, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a
Mm-hmm.
but it's just like, who cares? Yeah, I'm human, I make mistakes, as long as people take
Yeah.
accountability and change. And actually, if people choose to believe that or not, that's on them. But you know what I'm saying? That's kind of off topic.
No, 100%. And like, I follow Leo Skeppy. I don't know if you
Yeah,
know who
I
he is.
I do know who he. Yeah, I used to watch it
I
all the time.
love him
Mm-hmm.
through the bottom of my heart. And
He
like, he's been
actually,
canceled multiple
yeah,
times.
I was
And
just gonna say, he's
it's
just
just like,
so real,
I
though.
genuinely believe that, like, I think there's a difference between helping people and being positive and telling everybody they deserve love no matter what, and sugarcoating people to where you let them be unhealthy and neglect themselves and make them think it's okay. And I think
Yeah,
Leo wants everybody to be their best selves, which is why he does his podcast. And
yeah,
he wants everybody to just be their best versions of themselves and to really hold themselves not only accountable, but hold people around them accountable. And I think genuinely there are some people out there who don't like the fact that sometimes they're going to hear things they don't want to hear. But
yeah.
sometimes the truth is the truth and there's no way around it, you know?
Yes, exactly. Whether you like it or not.
Yeah. It's like, when I really believe everybody should be in the gym, whether
Yeah,
it's bodybuilding, doing cardio, doing Pilates, you should be moving your body some
agreed.
way, shape, or form. Even if it's outside doing yoga, you should be moving your body. You should not be sitting on your couch all day, drinking beer, drinking Mountain Dew all day. Yeah, you should be
Yeah,
moving your body because it is a privilege to move your body.
yeah,
And some people will just be like, oh, well, working out isn't my thing. Okay, you don't have to work out. Go
yeah.
ride a
Just
bike.
go for a walk. Yeah,
Go for a walk daily. I think as a society, we push comfortability over health all the time. And like, same thing when I go to work and my vending machines are filled with absolute junk. Why? I remember in school, in literal high school, they had vending machines and they were only healthy snacks because you guys need to eat healthy. But why is
that's
it
actually good. Continue.
but like, why aren't adults pushed to the same standards? Why aren't
I
adults
agree.
pushed to eat healthier? Why
I
aren't
was just
vending
gonna
machines full of
say,
healthy snacks?
yeah.
Why is it only
Why?
forced on children
Yeah.
who don't listen anyway?
No, literally. Oh no.
I
It's like,
just feel like the world is in still technically a health pandemic almost because do I love hot Cheetos? Yeah. Am I eating hot Cheetos every day? No. But there are some people who are out here eating hot Cheetos 3 times a day, eating McDonald's 6 times a day. Like, I understand some people can't, obviously, like, with groceries and shit, everything is fucking expensive. But we should be doing our best to take care of ourselves as
because,
best as
yeah,
possible. We only get one body, and when you're 80 years old, do you want to be dead or do you want to be, not able to move?
right.
Or do you want to be able to still function as an older person because you moved your body when you were younger? You took advantage of the youth that you had. I feel like that's also another thing too, is a lot of younger people are just neglecting the youth they have.
I agree.
And by young, I don't just mean people in our 20s like us. I do mean people in their 30s and 40s, because you are still fully capable to get up and do things.
And even
is it
50s.
harder for you? Yeah. Is it harder? Yes, it is. But that is the point.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is hard. Determine your own hard. Is this worth being hard for? Or is it worth sitting on your ass and not doing anything? And is that worth it being hard? You know?
Right.
Hopefully that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. It really does. And I think that needed to be said, you know? So, back to the social media and fitness influencing. What's the best way to connect with your audience and build a loyal following from your experience?
It's, once again, just to be authentic and be real. And, you know, everybody says, if you want to grow a following, you have to use trending audio, trending songs, participate in trends. To a certain extent, yeah. But there's only so many times you can do trends and use trending audios to the point where it just doesn't feel right. Like, I'm at that stage in my journey where I'm just like following all these trends and yada yada. It's just, it doesn't fit me. It doesn't fit my goals. Do I still do some trends and participate in some? Yeah, but I participate in what feels right at the time. I don't just go and do every single trend just to get a following, you know? I do what feels genuine to me. And if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Because I know that if I keep posting and I keep showing my life and I keep talking to people and like people DM me and ask me questions and reach out and comment, and I try to respond to all comments and all my DMs that I get, you know, besides weird ones, but you have to actually put your foot out. And I am a very introverted person in real life, and social media is my extroverted trait, I guess. It's where I really put myself out there and really try to be there for people in the way that I want to be, you know? I want to be a safe space for other people that I wish I would have had.
Right. And I think you are that. I really do.
Thank you. I try my best. Am I perfect or anywhere close to it? No. But I think I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. And I like that you embrace, like, that's what, again, back to embracing the imperfections is what makes people more relatable and more human. And I think people now, especially, we've dealt with fake influencers for so many years at this point, and we've kind of exposed them all, and now people kind of understand. And I think what people want now more than ever is authenticity and human people, imperfect people to follow.
And my thing is, it's like, I follow all the influencers and yada yada, and there are some influencers who did come up from nothing and who worked their asses off. But when I see an influencer who's sponsored by all these brands, who has all these hundreds of followers, who has always had a rich life, you know, and they're always talking about, well, it's not that hard to just start. I genuinely don't believe those types of people don't have space to say and tell normal people how to do things. Because if you have always had a rich lifestyle, you've always been rich, things like that, you've never really had to face struggles, especially with money, then I don't really think you have the space to sit here and tell me, oh my God, you should go buy this, you should do this, you should just keep doing this. You already have the lifestyle that everybody wants, which is why people follow you, because you have what everybody wants. But how did you get there? Was it through your own nail and grit? And I'm not saying, I don't want anybody ever to struggle. I don't think anybody should struggle. I think we should, as a society and as America in general, we need to fix that problem, because people should be struggling like this. I should not be making as much money as I do and still struggling and living paycheck to paycheck.
Bro, yes. It's freaking ridiculous.
But I also don't want to take life advice from somebody who's had everything handed to them.
Right.
You know? That's just my perspective from it. Am I happy that these people exist and live their lives to the greatest extent? Yes. You deserve it. Everybody deserves it. But I'm not going to sit here as somebody who has worked for every single thing since the day I got a job at, 16 years old, paid for my own car. I do everything myself. As somebody who's always done that, I do not need to take your life advice.
Right.
And I want people to realize that being happy is still manageable when you have to work your ass off. You just have to find it. And as hard as it is sometimes, because trust me, it's hard, you can do it.
Yeah, I agree. And also, some of these influencers will pretend they'll pretend like they grew up in like hardship just to be more relatable. That's why, again, what we were saying earlier, you have to really be careful and kind of trust your intuition with who you follow. Just because they're popular doesn't mean that they're truthful. It doesn't mean that they're a good person. Doesn't mean anything.
And I've seen so many stories like this. I just saw this girl post a video and she was like, if you left your stomach at the doctor's office, I'm not going to take advice from you about tummy control.
Right.
And I was like, that is a bar.
Right.
And there was this other and she wasn't even a fitness influencer. I think she's a photographer who does influencing and yada yada. And she was at like a dinner party with all these influencers. And there was this one female influencer who does have a significantly more following than her. And she was just so rude to her. And she was like, why are you even here? You only have 70K. Why are you here?
What?
You're a photographer. You don't even do the same things that we do. Why are you here? And it's just like, you don't know how some people genuinely are in real life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you follow Hope's Grow or whatever. She is genuinely like the sweetest little thing on the planet. She is just like, through her content, you can see how genuine and pure she is. She is, and just like, the people who talk about her followers, you can tell when somebody is a genuine and radiant person like her. You can feel that through the phone. And I feel like when I see some other influencers and it just leaves me with this pit in my stomach, like, man, I wish I looked like her. I should be doing harder. I should be doing this. It's like, that's not who I should be following.
Right.
I should be following the girl who makes me feel good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Point made.
Period. So
I yap so much.
No, but it's not like you're saying pointless things, you know? What you say has purpose and is meaningful, so who cares? So have you ever dealt with hate or negativity on social media, and how do you handle it? I already know that you have, but the listeners don't know that, and I think it would be good to talk about.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I've been talking about it a lot on my social media. And as a female fitness influencer, your biggest ops are men, all right?
Period.
That's going to be the thing that I drill down, is that I don't know whether or not men are just envious of women wearing cute outfits in the gym or being themselves or having actual brains, or if they want to be women, or if they're just jealous because they know they could never get with a woman who takes care of herself, things like
all
that.
Those things.
It's probably a combination, and probably some projection too.
Yes. Always is.
But the only hate I've ever gotten on my page is from men, whether it's telling me I'm fatherless, I need to cover up, or I need to wear less, or I need to not wear certain things, or I need to act a certain way, or my voice sounds manly, or I look manly. There's so many different things to the point where it's just like, I don't believe anything you're saying. Also because all of the hate will always come from the private accounts, the fake accounts, the troll accounts. Or like here recently I had a guy who had like a picture of him like flexing his arms or whatever in his profile picture, but with a private account.
I remember
telling me that I post my ass for attention because I don't have any real muscle development to actually show. And it's like, well, clearly you haven't looked at my content, because first of all, yes, I have. Second of all, I do post my ass, but it's every once in a while. I've done significantly better at not posting my ass because I want to deter the men away from me. All right. And I genuinely I do like posting pictures of my glutes, because like what girl doesn't?
Right. But as you should.
But it's not for men to sit here and go, oh my God, she has a fat ass. I want girls to look at my page and be like, oh my God, I want to look like her. I want to be like her. I want to be her friend. What shorts are you wearing? Women, I want a community. I want people to be like, oh my God, she posted this picture. I want to post something like that. So I'm going to. I want to inspire people to be their true and authentic selves. And men don't like that because they want women to be submissive to whatever they want us to be, whatever they want us to do. if we go to the gym, we're too revealing or we want attention. But if we don't go to the gym, we don't care about ourselves. We're not attractive. And then they end up cheating on us. It's just like, we can't win with men anymore. So why try for men when we can just try for ourselves, you know?
And it's 2025, and I don't know why we still have men that act like that think they have a right to shame a woman, comment on her body, tell her what she should and shouldn't wear, tell her if she sounds manly or not. Okay, do you see any woman telling you that you sound feminine? Like, really? Like, who do you think you are? And I thought, I thought we were raised back. I have hope in our generation, I really do, that, like, we will, when we get a bit older and can actually run in politics and shit, I hope that we'll have better options for presidents and things like that, because I actually think that our generation wants change and are actually decent people and can make a good difference in the world. But I think that the fact that we still have people in our generation that act sexist and disgusting and racist and all the above is just ridiculous. Why do you have so much hate in your heart?
And like, my thing is, my argument when people are like, oh, this generation is too sensitive, and I'd rather be too sensitive than not care at all.
Yeah.
Like, when did empathy and care become this thing that's just evil? When did caring about how other people feel and things like that, like, really become this negative thing? Because if somebody sits here and comes up to me, and not to get too political, they're like, hey, I want you to call me this. It is not that hard to sit here and be like, okay, if it makes you happy, I'll do it.
Right.
If you can sit here and call the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, you understand how to use pronouns.
Right?
You understand how to respect people when all people are asking for is acceptance and respect.
And it doesn't even affect your life. Like, how does that affect
you?
How does it affect you? It doesn't.
Like, people can be so ignorant, and I think people get caught up in things that don't even affect them. And I think that's also a privilege, that these things do not affect you. Like, if, let's say, hypothetically, gay marriage gets, illegal or whatever, becomes illegal, it doesn't affect you. And that is a privilege, because you will probably never, as a straight man or a straight woman, have your right to get married taken away because you're accepted.
Yeah, and also, how does the gay marriage affect you?
Literally.
Like, I asked someone this who, not to get too political, but also I don't care, who's a Trump supporter. And I literally asked them, how does someone being gay and someone who, because they don't support gay marriage, I'm like, how does gay marriage affect you? And they said something like, well, and mind you, this person is not religious, so it has nothing to do with, like, religion or anything like that. And I really don't remember exactly what they said, but it was something along the lines of, kids will think, it affects my kids, or putting gay people in movies affects my kids, makes them think that, like, that's okay. I'm like, well, because it is okay. And just because and mind you, this person also has gay friends, so that's where I'm, like, confused. Like, you are friends with gay people, you are friends with people of color, yet you're still, like, to an extent, anti-LGBTQ+, and you're kind of, like, I wouldn't say racist, but more just, like, a little bit racist, but I would say more so just anti-LGBTQ+.
Yeah. And it's like,
yeah.
It's just so, like, when it comes to the whole kids thing, and I make this point in every single argument I get, if we care about the children so much, why are their children literally suffering right now in adoption agencies or foster
abusive
homes?
Parents, or
Yeah, 100%. Why aren't we worrying about the children that are alive right now?
Yeah. And also, let's talk about religion for a second. I'm spiritual, not religious, and I don't have anything wrong with people who are religious. I don't mind. I don't have an issue with you. As long as you don't force your ways on me or disrespect me for what I believe, I will not disrespect you or force my ways on you.
Literally.
We're adults, we can have our own beliefs and opinions, and can we just talk about the issue that came out, that we all very well know of, with people bringing their kids to, church. and they're getting essayed by the priest. Or like, and this is supposed to be what you believe like is actually safe and right for these kids. But like, and then the people who had gay kids that sent them off to like boot camps to become straight again, where they were literally essayed over and over again and abused at these camps. Like seriously. And you're gonna tell me that putting a gay person in a movie is bad? Or like
Or
that.
it's like the drag show queens who will read to kids. It's like, oh, how do I explain that to my kids? Simple. It's a man in a dress.
Like, who cares? We play dress up as kids all the time and parents are fine with it. Why can't adults do the same thing? And also,
and it's
like,
just...
yeah.
What were you going to say?
No, just that who cares? Adults are still basing off of what you said earlier with, like, the snack machine and how kids have healthy snacks and adults, we have shitty snacks and stuff. Why do we treat adults like we still can have certain parts of us that are still kid-like, you know? And drag queens and stuff like that is, for them, a form of expression, and even kind of the child part of them that's still able to come out and have fun and dress up and, you know, be someone else, as we did when we were children. Why is it bad now? Who says that it's... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think a part of it is that when we grow up, we start taking life so seriously when life was never meant to be this serious. No. And it's just like, when it comes to queer people and drag queens and things like that, it's just like, these people are just being themselves with absolutely zero intentions to harm other people. Like, it's just a form of expression. It's like a woman putting on makeup. Are you going to sit here and say, oh, I don't want you wearing makeup around my daughter because she's going to sit here and think that she has to wear makeup? No. And then if children, especially with little girls, and you're like, oh, she has to have a baby doll. Why are you forcing her to think that she has to be a mother when she's an adult?
Right.
Why aren't you sitting here saying, oh, you can play with whatever you want to play with. You don't have to play with babies. You can play with superhero figures if you want to. You know, whatever boosts your creativity, because that's what life is really about, is boosting your creativity and living through expression and creating. It's not just about working and being a baby making machine and all these things. It's about living the life that you want to live and create. And my issue with religion, I'm spiritual and I do believe to a certain extent that there is a God and a higher power.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily say I'm Christian either. I believe in the universe and a higher power, and I do sometimes relate to them as God because it helps personify it more. But I think the difference between like most Christians and like spiritual people and people who don't believe in a higher power, things like that, is that we get so deterred from Christianity because of the negative impact it has made on our lives. And I feel like people who do stay in Christianity or things like that after negative situations, it's because they feel like there's no other option for them. When there is, you can choose. I feel like, and this is going to be some hippie, spiritual, stupid bullshit, but I genuinely believe we were all put on this earth and made for love. And we have gotten so very far from that. We judge each other every single day. We are always worried about money. Our president isn't worried about taking care of his people. He's worried about himself and doing whatever it is that he is doing. And I pray every day that he changes and makes good decisions. But as of right now, that's not happening. And I think politics just make everything so much worse. Because why can we not just agree to love each other and accept each other as we are, as long as we're not hurting people, you know? And I don't know. It's a lot to deal with, a lot to think about. I just want people to be nice to each other.
Okay, so my next question, have you worked with any fitness brands, and how do sponsorships and partnerships work, if you have?
I haven't had any actual like sponsorships or partnerships or anything like that. I do have my pre-workout brand, Join the Cult, which they do send me their pre-workout and everything for me to promote. And I have a discount code, which is just Karena, Karena. Saves you some money on it. But genuinely, when they first reached out to me, I thought it was a scam.
I'm dead.
And I blocked them. And then,
and
then I woke up one morning with the pre-workout on my doorstep, and I was like, oh no, I fucked up.
Yeah, I'm dead,
I
bro.
was like, I fucked up, they're real.
That's so funny. That's
And then
so
like
funny.
I reached out to them and I was like, I am so sorry. I get so many like things like this happening and I thought you guys were a scam. And they were like, oh my God, no, it's okay. That's so funny. They're like, I promise I'm real. Like, let me know what you think. And I actually love this pre-workout. And I'm not just saying that. Like, I've tried so many different pre-workouts.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I had to burp.
No, you're fine.
But like literally on my microwave, I have like 4 different pre-workouts. And I've tried like Legion, I've tried the Ghost pre-workout, I've tried C4, I've tried the Bum pre-workout, and I used to also use the Beyond Raw Concept X. That shit was fucking oof. But
I'm
Join the
good.
Cult is actually my favorite because it gives me like the perfect balance between there's ants under my skin and all right, I'm focused, you know?
Right.
And it
Right.
always gives me a good pump and it always makes me feel good. And the thing about it is too, if you ever forget a shaker bottle, they have built-in funnels for you to funnel in your pre-workout so you don't make a mess everywhere.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they're so inclusive. They're so kind.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they let me, be in their little world even after I messed up and blocked them.
It's
Um,
okay, I'm sure.
it's so funny, but it's like
Yeah.
genuinely, it's like I would never sit here and tell y'all or the people that I care about that I like something if I don't.
Right.
And it genuinely is one of the best pre-workouts I've ever tried. And they have creatine too, which I'm like, thank God. So now I can just go through them to get my creatine. And
Right.
then they actually at the Arnold this year just launched these hydration drinks, which I don't know if you've tried the Ghost hydration drinks, but they were terrible. Tasted like feet to me. So
Everything's sweet.
feet,
No,
like,
but
my
it's
feet are
real. It's so
disgusting.
real. Yeah.
I've heard so many good things about their hydration drinks from Join the Cult. And everybody at the Arnold says they're so good. And I'm so excited because they sent me some. And I can't wait to
Aw,
get my grubby little hands on them.
that's so cool, though. And
Yeah,
then
and they're
also,
sending me more pre-workout too. And I'm like, yay.
didn't you also just have another brand send you stuff? Sugar Bear?
Well, yeah. I reached out to Sugar Bear Hair because I was about to buy their hair growth gummies. And I was like, maybe I should just reach out to them and see. And they were like,
Right.
actually, thank you for posting the way that you do and doing everything that you do. We're just going to send you some stuff. And they sent
Aw.
me a month's supply of the hair growth gummies, which I do actually think work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a miracle worker or nothing, but it does actually help a little bit 'cause it's a vitamin, obviously. They sent me
Yeah.
their sleep gummies, which also great. They
Yeah.
sent me a hair oil, great. And they sent me a big ass fluffy blanket and a big fluffy pillow and some
So
sleeping socks.
sweet.
And I love it.
I love that. That's
Same.
awesome. Okay, so my next question before we get into like this or that is, do you schedule your posts or do you post whenever you feel like it?
I post whenever I feel like it.
Okay.
I try to post something in the mornings, something in mid-afternoon, and something kind of late in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
But it really just depends on what content I have. Yeah, I kind of just post whatever I want, whenever I want. And one of the things that I'm very grateful for is that at my job, I do get a decent amount of downtime. So I also edit a lot of videos at work and make stuff at work and then
Mm-hmm.
upload it the next day, or real quick, I find some pictures to post, things like that. I kind of just throw stuff together most of the time.
Well, that's good though to keep it authentic. Okay, so if someone wants to start a fitness account today, what is the first thing they should do?
Figure out what their message is. And you can have multiple messages. Everybody wants to sit here and say, oh, you need to have one specific niche or one thing. No, I have multiple. I want to tell people that they need to be confident in their bodies, but also you don't need to be afraid to be yourself.
Yeah.
Also, you don't have to be super jacked and, appeal to everybody. You just have to appeal to yourself.
Right.
I have multiple messages that go amongst a lot of different things. And it's just to kind of find at least one message you want to send and figure out how you're going to spread awareness to that. You don't need a fancy camera. You don't need a fancy gym. Excuse me.
No, you're fine.
All you really need is a good message and the attitude.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we're going to do some quick this or that. And then that's pretty much it.
Woo!
Okay, strength training or cardio?
Strength training.
HIIT or steady state cardio?
Oh, gosh, I think I'm gonna have to go with HIIT because I hate cardio.
Yeah, I hate cardio. Gym workouts or outdoor workouts?
I would love to be doing some outdoor workouts during the summer, not gonna lie to you.
Morning workout or night workout?
Oh, and that's so hard. I'm gonna have to go with morning workout just because, like, I'm biased and it works better for my schedule, but I love working out at night because nobody's there.
Home gym or public gym?
I personally, once again, prefer public just because it gets me out of my shell. Makes me anxious enough to do things.
Free weights or machines?
Free weights all the way.
Squats or lunges?
Ugh, terrible. Squats, I guess.
Deadlifts or bench press?
But I choose neither.
Yeah. Choose one. Choose one.
I would rather fuck up my back again than ever bench.
I'm dead.
Just being honest.
Yeah. Resistance bands or kettlebells?
Kettlebells.
Protein shake or smoothie?
If it's my Alani protein shake, I'm going with that.
And last one, cheat meal, pizza or burgers?
Burgers. Sorry.
Yeah. No, for real. All right, well, that's all for today. All the questions I had at least. And I am really grateful that you came on today. So thank you so much for that.
Well,
Round of
thank you for
applause.
inviting me. Yeah. Thank you for inviting me. I actually had so much fun.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, I did too. And also, again, make sure to follow her on Instagram. It's karenaxmarie. You want to spell it again?
Yes. Karenaxmarie.
Yes. And make sure to follow our Instagram, which is chaotic.unfiltered.pod, because we'll also have her tagged in a post after this comes out, so you guys can also check her out through our Instagram. And if you're listening on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, Spotify, rate us, and share, comment too if you'd like. And we hope to be on Apple Podcasts soon. Anyways, thank you, Karina, for coming. Thank you for sharing your insight. It was very knowledgeable and I think amazing for anyone who wants to get more into fitness. And
Well, thank you for having me, Mercedes. I loved it.
Yes. So we'll see you guys later. Love you. Bye.